Welcome back. The Supreme Court and its use of the so-called shadow docket faced criticism on Capitol Hill today. On occasion, the High Court will hand down orders and summary decisions without hearing oral arguments by the way of that docket. That was the case earlier this month when the court decided not to block a controversial abortion law in Texas, outlawing the procedure after about 6 weeks of pregnancy. Today, some Democrats in the Senate Judiciary Committee claim the Supreme Court used the shadow docket to advance a pro-life political agenda.
We now have two dangerous new precedents to contend with. First, with SB 8, Texas has created a model to undermine constitutional rights by using bounty hunter enforcement schemes. Second, the Supreme Court has now shown that it's willing to allow even facially unconstitutional laws to take effect when the law is aligned with certain ideological preferences.
With us now, Tony Perkins, president of the Family Research Council. Welcome back to Faith Nation, Tony. Republican member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Chuck Grassley of Iowa, split from his Democratic counterparts, saying that the court did something very ordinary in the Texas decision. The premise of today's hearing was to examine the use of the shadow docket. Critics say it appeared to undermine the credibility of the Supreme Court over the issue of abortion. Tony, how do you see it?
I find it very interesting to see Democratic senators like Dick Durbin complaining about the court advancing a political agenda. That's actually what we've been complaining about for decades, that the court has been advancing a political agenda. And here's what proves it. Nancy Pelosi, after Texas law was allowed to go into effect while the case is being adjudicated, Nancy Pelosi says, well, I'm going to call Congress back to the Hill, and we're going to have a vote to codify Roe v. Wade into law. That's what they voted on last Friday. Now, here's the kicker. It's an admission that abortion on demand was never the law of the land. It was invented by the court. And so now that we have a constitutionalist majority on the court, we're looking at this again. So I just find this very interesting that those that have used the court for so long to do their legislating is now, they're now complaining.
Tony, the House recently passed the Women's Health Protection Act with overwhelming Democratic support. A new article on FRC's blog says the measure proves some Democrats are okay with abortion up until the moment of birth. How does this bill do that?
Well, that's just what I was talking about. That's the bill that Nancy Pelosi wanted to push. It is Roe with an attitude. What it actually does is eliminates everything that the states have done over the last 50 years to begin to take back this territory from the courts, whether it's partial birth abortion bans, whether it's parental consent, whether it's waiting periods, whether it's ultrasound, and so much more, completely wiped out if this law were to go into effect. Fortunately, it's not going to get through the Senate in its current shape. So I'm hopeful that we will see the Senate majority or the Senate minority, the Republicans, hold the line on this. The court will decide this. Next, they're going to have oral arguments in December. We'll get a decision next summer. And hopefully the court will recognize that the court interjected itself back in 1973. This should go back to the states, and a majority of the states, I believe, will stand on the side of life.
Tony, earlier in our show, we reported on the Virginia governor's race. One issue that's become prominent in the election is parents challenging graphic material found in public school textbooks. This is something I know that you've discussed a lot. How much are parents making a difference when it comes to this? And if you can, in about just a few seconds that we have left.
They're making a huge difference. Look, this is like a platoon of mama bears descending upon the left that's had the education of their children in their clutches for years, and they're now dropping it. I applaud what moms are doing all across America. Keep it up. They are making a difference.
All right, Tony Perkins with Family Research Council. Good to see you, Tony. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony.
Good to be with you.